This is going to be a great fight. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I can't wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your co-main event, brought to you by the TurfHouse.com for your CBD needs. Combat Sports' #1 source for pain management. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Francisco Pintos.
Hands up, Onama! Hands up!
And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, David Onama. Here's your referee, Nick Nolte.
My heart is racing. Both these guys eager to get after it. Look at them. They're both ready to come out firing.
Very intense, very intense.
An intense stare down at weigh-ins yesterday, and that just continues into today.
Nice, goes quick for that takedown. Very powerful takedown by David Onama, trying to maintain position.
And David gets it, but Francisco is trying to scramble back to his feet. You see David trapping the wrist.
David finally steps over. Francisco still.
Good head positioning here by David Onama. You can see he's got his forehead in the chin there of Francisco. Francisco looking to push away.
And something to mention with both these guys have great cardio. So this is nothing for them.
You see Francisco controlling the wrist of David. Fires in a knee to the body, but David not having it. He's in on the legs again. Let's see if he can elevate and get a takedown here.
There he gets back up. But Francisco now has a hand trap. David has to fight off of it. Nice. David spins right out of it.
David's relentless on the legs here. Francisco looked for a spinning elbow. Not able to do so. These guys are off to a crazy start. This is an intense pace.
Nice jab by David Onama.
Stiff jab.
Ooh, inside leg kick.
Everything Francisco throws has a lot of power on it. The inside leg kicks, the outside leg kicks, the elbows, the knees, everything's got a lot of power. David's a little more focused on the technique and the straight line punches here right down the middle. He's having some success with his jab here.
All right, they'll go right back to the double leg, picks him up, puts him on his back.
And this is obviously where David wants to be, on top, on the ground. He's locking up the legs.
Laces up the legs.
And this is dangerous for Francisco here. It's very difficult to get back to your feet when your knees are trapped together like that. And you can see David is triangling his legs underneath the knees of Francisco. Francisco's got to get his legs out all the way before he can get back to his feet. And David's just sticking to him like glue here.
There's a punch.
Elbows from the bottom from Francisco. Francisco's going to look to walk his feet off the cage here. Not able to do so. David working to establish a good dominant position. Get Francisco locked in one place, and then he'll be able to tee off with strikes.
Francisco has that leg lock, stopping David from advancing in any other position. He now lets go.
So now David has what their leg lay series they've worked on quite a bit, where you're stepping over and dropping that bottom leg. You keep seeing David try to step all the way over that bottom leg and lock it into place like he does there, and that's going to trap the hips of Francisco. Now Francisco's only options are to stay where he's at or turn up to his back. You hear the corner of Francisco Pintos telling him to go towards the cage and work his way up from there.
David Onama establishes that full mount. But Francisco doing the right thing, getting to the hip.
David's looking to work with these elbows now. This is something he hasn't got to do as an amateur. As a pro, you can throw elbows, and he's taking advantage of it right now.
Francisco trying to hold on, but David Onama is intent on trying to finish his fight.
Francisco's throwing strikes from the bottom here, but it's hard to generate any power to do too much damage at that point. He really needs to just focus on getting his hips out, getting back to his feet. David's just relentless with his control on the ground here. Nice elbow by David.
And this is where the great cardio comes into place.
Oh, another big elbow by David.
David keeps putting him flat on his back. Francisco has to try to get out.
And these elbows are landing. Francisco's so tough, though. He hasn't stopped moving the whole time, but now his head's kind of pinned up against the cage. There's nowhere for him to move at that point.
Really dominated this round with just under 30 seconds. David Onama is landing.
Yeah, these are big strikes here.
In which every time it lands, it's more demoralizing for Francisco. Francisco staying in there.
Hasn't stopped fighting yet, though. He's ate some huge elbows, but it hasn't stopped Francisco from moving and rocking his hips side to side, trying to get back to his feet. But David is just relentless on top. That'll be the end of round one. A round that started off very close, back and forth, but David took over once they got to the ground and established that dominant position. And then, like we said, he hasn't been able to throw elbows as an amateur, and now making his pro debut, really taking advantage of being able to throw those elbows.
He took advantage of it, but David Onama walking out confident, but Francisco is still in this fight.
Yeah, and they're going to start round two on the feet. That's where Francisco wants to be, and it's obvious that David wants to get this fight on the ground, not have to deal with any of that, and really dominate the positions on the ground and release those elbows. And he did a great job of it there in the second half of the first round.
And Tim, Tim's giving that wealth of knowledge right to Francisco, so I expect a different game plan coming out for the second round. Great matchup.
Both these guys extremely well conditioned, a ferocious pace in round one, and they both look ready to go here in round two. Smile from Francisco, smile from David. They're ready to get after it. Front kick up the middle by Francisco, just misses.
To that open stand. David Onama goes like that, puts it right back on his back.
And Francisco's got to scramble here. He's got to get back to his feet. He can't take another round like the end of round one.
Onama controlling that full mount position, but Francisco doing that wall walk, trying to get off.
David working the posture up so he can land those big strikes. He's controlling the wrist on the other side now. So again, that's going to force the back take at this point.
Francisco staying calm and composed.
David gets his hooks almost. See how he's controlling the wrist of Francisco? That forces Francisco to have to try to turn up to his stomach, which is going to allow David to throw in those hooks and get to the back.
David Onama content with staying there, landing these short punches.
Yeah, he's in a really controlling position right now.
Nice to the body, to the head. These add up.
Yeah, so David's controlling the wrist and he's controlling the hips here, and that just makes you feel completely stuck, and it's exhausting. And now that you can, add in these elbow strikes, these punches, this is rough.
Francisco's out of it. They must stop the fight. They must stop the fight. They must. If David Onama comes out with the victory.
A very excited David Onama wins in his pro debut here at KCFA 32. An incredible performance by David Onama. Don't forget the name, people. David Onama is going to do big things in this sport and is going to continue this pro career. And a very tough matchup in his debut, and really shined here tonight.
Every now and then you meet a fight that compliments you and it brings more out of you. And good job to David Onama coming out with the victory. Coming out with the victory.
You can see how excited David is to, his debut is something that's been talked about from a lot of people for a long time, and for him to come in here and perform like he did tonight, there's big things on the horizon for David Onama. Let's see the replay of the finish here. Lands a solid left hand right to the jaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end at 1 minute and 30 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by TKO, out of the red corner, David Onama.
Beautiful performance by David Onama.